Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Obscure Joe PT, and for today what I have in here it is Pro Evolution Soccer 2019, the demo, okay? So the game was developed by the Konami, which is pretty much the only game they have now, and they are using the Fox engine, the engine behind the other Pro Evolution Soccers and also Metal Gear Solid 5. So for the settings on this video, I will be using the median settings, which is pretty much the settings that both consoles do use, and I'm using 1080p, and there is options to lock the game at either 60 frames per second or either 30 frames per second. You can select to lock the game at 60 frames per second on the gameplay, and you can select to lock the game at 60 frames per second on the replays, and you can choose which one you want to lock at 60 or at 30s. Since this is a benchmark, I decided to lock all of them to 60. It's the maximum frame rate you can go. There is no option to go above 60 frames per second on Pro Evolution Soccer. Like I said, you either choose 30 or you either choose 60. But my personal recommendation is for you to lock the game at 60 for the gameplay, for the regular game, and the replays probably you can lock the game at 30 frames per second. Because most of the time the game won't be, this PC won't be able to handle 60 frames per second during the replays. As you can see on the pan of this stadium, the game is already at 30 frames per second and sometimes can drop even lower than that. So limiting the game to 30 frames per second on the replays seems like a good idea, and capping the game at 60 for the gameplay seems like the best idea ever. So this is the performance that I got with the different settings. So yeah, the things are a little bit different because I played two different games, and so on the median settings I was able to do like 3 goals or 3 goals that happen, so there was more replays and so more drops in frame rate. But what happens really is that the game was playable at 60 frames per second, whatever if you've gone with the high settings, which is actually the maximum settings, or whatever if you go with the median settings. But the high settings can be a little bit more demanding on low clocked graphic cards that are listed on the title. So if you have some drops from 60 frames per second during the gameplay, you can drop the game to median settings, and to be honest, you will barely notice the difference. And that's why I decided to use median settings on this video, because I think that you just don't notice the difference at all between median and high, and you can get some extra performance in case the game gets more demanding. And talking about that, during the replays, on the median settings, the game doesn't go as low as the frame rate. In the frame rate, it can go as lower as 20 frames per second, while the high settings go below 20s, which is very serious in my opinion, despite it's not a playable section of the game. So in my opinion, median settings for this game, it is the way to go. Lock the gameplay to 60 frames per second, lock the replays to 30s, and you are free to go with Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. It performs pretty much the same as the last year, but I still think that on the high settings last year was more demanding, but still I still do recommend it to use median settings. Okay, so guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. In case you are interested in buying the game, you can buy the game through Steam. There will be a link on the description where that points you to the Steam store where you can buy the game, or you can eventually buy the game through Kinguin or stuff like that. That should enable you, lower prices, but it might not be available at the time of the video, but I will try to add it later. Okay, so guys, I think that's really all for now. Thank you a lot for watching. I hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video. Spoiler alert, I will lose because I decided to go with professional difficulty, and guys, I'm not really a football type gamer, and so choosing professional, I wanted to be a little bit more challenging, but I end up, well, not playing that well at all, or not playing at all, because I was completely raped. So guys, thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.